I appreciate the humility for you clicking on this video. I know what you're thinking. There's idiots making money. I'm pretty smart. I got this all figured out. I know everything. But you clicking on this video showed that you have a little bit of some humility in your DNA and in your blood. So that means you'll be a little bit open to listening to stuff. And that's what I'm here for, is to help you go become a millionaire. It seems like you all, based off the previous video, you guys love hearing how there's dumb people that are making millions of dollars, and you got a little bit jealous there. And so it's all right. I'll show you what they're doing. I'll tell you exactly what they're doing in this video, so you don't have to feel like you're missing out on anything, and you don't have to have any more FOMO at all. Because as we talked about, Vermont is in fact a country. Vermont is a country that we could go travel to. They have their own citizenship, or they have their own, rules and governing law and everything. And so now that we all know that Vermont is a country, let's talk about how to make a ton of money. First things first is, in all seriousness, back in 1956, the shipping container was invented. And when the shipping container was invented, it revolutionized the shipping industry and the transportation of goods. It made it so there was a lot more security when it came with traveling, because you can lock these things up in these pretty big ass hefty steel containers. You can stack significantly more goods on a ship, allowing you to transport way more items at a certain time, and then also preserving the goods that you were shipping, because now it's in a protected container instead of just out in the open and just shaking around everywhere on a ship. And so after the invention of the shipping container, merchants were able to make significantly more money and be able to go a lot more global with their goods and services, because they were able to get their product in the hands of more customers. And so flash forward to today, there's been a lot of products out there and a lot of platforms and a lot of websites and a lot of places that have been created to, just like for the merchants with the shipping containers. Now today, for the average person that has access to an internet connection, can be able to access and leverage to be able to reach the masses and to be able to make millions of dollars. And so in this day and age, it's not about having the right connection and the right time and being able to build the building in the right place, and having the right contacts and all the people that you know to be able to build a building and be able to set up some sort of infrastructure, and to know all these things and create products and stuff like that. These days, all you need is an internet connection and just access to a few different websites, and you can go and produce things that are able to reach millions of people. And you don't even have to have any sort of like inventory. You don't have to have any sort of, connections. You don't have to have any sort of prior experience. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. You could be literally anybody. And now these days, just like the shipping container, there's platforms like Shopify and YouTube and Amazon and all of these different social media websites and many, many others out there that you can go and create something that millions and the masses can consume, generating you income. Now, these days, you don't have to have any sort of product or solution or anything like that. These days, the feedback loop is so shortened that you can know in an instant whether or not what you are doing is working. And if it's not, you can adjust and course correct. Back in the day, even just a short 20, 30 years ago, you had to invest so much time and resources and energy into creating a product or to create some sort of service. And then you would put it out to the market, and it would take weeks, if not months, if not years, to know if what you were doing is working. Now, these days, it can happen in the span of minutes or even just a few short hours, worst case scenario, a few days, and you know exactly how the market responds to the thing that you have created, thus allowing anybody that just moves quickly and takes lots of action, they can get lots of data points really fast to understand what's working and what's not working. And so here's the thing. Let me backtrack a little bit now. My name's Devon Canup. If you don't know who I am, I have made millions of dollars off of the internet now at this point. My businesses have done a combined total of over $300,000 this month. And we were on a run rate of producing $5 million a year. I wasn't always like this person that you see today. It wasn't always driving supercars and living in beautiful houses and traveling across the world and doing all sorts of cool stuff. But in fact, for me, I grew up on a farm. I grew up with not that much opportunity. Or what I thought was not that much opportunity. I had very middle, lower class parents who gave me all of their love, but that was kind of the only currency that we had for a lot of time. We didn't really have much money for stuff, and we still always made it work. But with that being said, I didn't have rich parents. I didn't know anybody Like the people that like were making money growing up, they had a nice little BMW. That's it. No Ferraris, no, 5, 10, $20 million houses, none of that. It was just, the kids that had a little bit of some money, their parents had a decent corporate job, or just people that were working very like minimum wage jobs. That was the norm for me. And so I used to think that making money was this just, you had to be some sort of baller, you had to be some sort of rapper, you had to be some sort of baseball player, and that's actually what I tried to do to go become wealthy, was played baseball all my life and go to college for baseball. And then or the other then when I met one person, he worked his way up the corporate ladder for 20 years, and he had a nice Audi and a nice, Lexus that he drove. And that was the epitome of success. It was either that, you can work to that level if you're lucky, or just put a lot of time into the system, or on the flip side of it, you become lucky, you're born into wealth, or you're some sort of like Elon Musk or something like that, some crazy anomaly or crazy exception in the world. And so that was my perception of making money and being able to generate income. Until one day I was scrolling through social media. I think I was on a YouTube video, and I click on it, and there was a guy in his garage that was talking about how he just bought a brand new Lamborghini, and what bought him that Lamborghini was knowledge and being able to make money online. And so after that, I was like, my whole entire world changed. My whole perspective on the world changed very dramatically. And I found myself looking for all these ways of making money in a very quick manner. And a lot of it out there on the internet was very BS, or there wasn't like that much information out there online. And it seemed like most of these people that were actually, making all the money online were people that just made it from teaching people more so than the actual, the practice of what they said that you need to do to go make money. But after enough time and a good sizable failures, I actually eventually figured it out. I figured it out with real estate originally. And what I ended up doing is I found this business model was called like real estate wholesaling. It was my entry. I'm not saying that you guys should jump into it. If I made it, you can make money with it. I just, you have to talk to people. You have to make a lot of phone calls. I had a little bit of some sales experience, and I leveraged that to get into the opportunity. But I found myself, I didn't really like doing that. I ended up taking the lessons that I learned from real estate wholesaling though, and I turned them in, I packaged them into videos that I could teach to people online on YouTube. Because how I learned real estate wholesaling, or how I learned the business, was by studying a lot of these people online that were kind of breaking it all down. Come to find out, a lot of them were making more money just like, talking on YouTube than they were actually the thing. And so I started doing that, and I actually started making some good money just off the ad revenue that YouTube gave me for my videos. And I realized that something was there. I didn't have to, have some actual legitimate business. I could just make YouTube videos, and I was able to get paid. So after about a year, I was making $3,000-$4,000 a month for my channel. And what I did is I realized that this was the key, because I could have my YouTube channel deleted at any point in time. And you know what? It wouldn't matter, because I could just go set up another one. Now, if I had a big, huge sales team and all this stuff, and like I was flipping houses and everything, if I lost my business and it burned down to the ground, with real estate wholesaling, it was a little bit easier. You could go set up another business, but you got to think about it this way. If you have, let's say, like a restaurant that you go start up, and you go build this office or build this restaurant, you get this physical location, you get it modeled, like, you get it set up and everything, you get all the tables and chairs and all the cooking equipment. If that building burns down, you're out whatever investment that it took. I mean, hopefully you have insurance, but if you don't have insurance, which I know this has happened to some of my friends that were in the restaurant industry, their building burned down, and now they have to be out another whatever investment it costs to build another restaurant, and they have to show up every single day. And if it's hard to hire people at the beginning, you have to work every single day, no matter what. Versus these days, you can upload a video on the internet, and that video that you upload can last for the next 10 years. Like, there's videos, if you go on YouTube on the homepage right now, you'll see videos that have been uploaded 10 years ago that people are getting views on to this day and making money off of those videos. And so now we live in this world with shipping containers are now YouTube channels in the platform of youtube.com. Shipping containers are shopify.com or Amazon, where they're these platforms that were created for the average person to be able to reach the market in ways that have never been able to be conducted before in all of human history. Never before have you been able to create something that can just reach a billion people in a very short amount of time. And it doesn't matter who you are, your skin color, what your background is or anything like that. Now, these days, anybody can go start something up and it can reach a lot of people and have insane amounts of distribution. And so the people that are having successful, like crazy amounts of success, are the ones that are realizing that this is the new age and this is the new world that we live in. For me personally, I have created many, many YouTube channels that have gotten to 10, 20, 30, $70,000 a month. I've lost them, whatever, some unforeseen circumstances. I didn't see very far ahead when I was getting started with it. I was just making short-term money, not long-term money. And now after going through that failure, all I simply did was just, oh, this sucks, and just started up another YouTube channel. And after that, after I would lose my income a little bit, go down to $5,000 a month or whatever it may be, I would set up another YouTube channel. In a few short months, I would have another thing that was generating me income. And if those ever flopped, then I would just go set up another one, or I would just charge for my time and my knowledge that I learned from everything that I got there. And then now I got to the point where I have these channels that make me $30,000 to $60,000 a month without me being very involved in them. And then on the flip side of it all, and don't worry, I'm not going to teach you. I'm not going to not don't worry, but I'm not going to teach you guys the YouTube stuff inside of this channel. This channel is just purely just mindset, like opportunity. I have another channel. If you guys want to go check it out, go watch that channel. There's videos on how to build faceless YouTube channels, all that stuff, how I make money. But anyways, I got channels that were making $30,000 to $60,000 a month. And then what I did is, now that they're really consistent and I had all these lessons and all these experience, I just packaged all these lessons that I learned into a way that I can go and teach thousands of people exactly what I have done in my experiences. And then I take my time and give it to these people that want to follow the journey that I did. And it has allowed me to go from making $30,000 to $60,000 a month on repeat, to taking that all and packaging it to where I can make $500,000 to $1 million a month from those lessons and those experiences without any real hard costs, just the cost of fulfillment based off of the time and the people that help me fulfill and the software costs and everything like that. And that is the age and the era that we live in. There are people all over the internet that are doing this exact same thing, where you go and get a proof of concept. You don't have to sell something right away, but you go apply one of these business models, that the shipping containers of the world, the Shopify, the Amazon, the YouTube. And what people are doing is they're taking these platforms and leveraging them to make their first 10, 20, 30, $50,000 a month. And some people are taking these platforms and they're moving it to where they have a $200,000 a month business where they are maximizing the shipping container. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build my own shipping container. You guys aren't trying to do that. You guys watching this video are just trying to make your first $10,000, $20,000 a month, your first $50,000 a month, the first $100,000 a month. When you're doing your first $100,000 a month, your first $50,000 a month, you don't need to do anything that fancy. And that's what these dumb people, are doing to make a ton of money. What they're doing is they're taking what's already working in the market and they are emulating their success. And that is the key. That is the key to making your first $10,000, $20,000 a month. The people that don't think and they just do, they don't think, oh, am I stealing this person's work? Am I like just ripping it? Those are the people that have very fast success. And so I'm going to tell you guys the ethics and the values that I have around it. So that way you guys can actually, and maybe help you guys let go of some limiting beliefs. So that way you can go and actually finally go make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, because it's really not that complicated. It's actually pretty simple. And now I'm obviously able to say that from a place of I've done it before. But at the same time, I've worked really hard, put in a bunch of years. But let's say it took you 5 years. Let's say it took you 5 years to get to $20,000 a month. If it took you the next 5 years of showing up every single day and eating shit to be able to make $20,000 a month on the other side of it, would that be worth it? I would say so. Your life has changed for the rest of your life. Let's say you're making $3,000 a month now, $8,000 a month now, $10,000 a month, and you're stuck at a job. You have to go show up to that thing every single day, whether or not you want. You have to go, if your boss tells you you have to dance like a monkey, you have to freaking dance like a monkey, or else they'll go find someone else that'll dance like a monkey. But if you go and show up for the next, like if it takes you 5 years, which most people don't take 5 years, you must be doing a lot of things wrong and really be an idiot. But if you do it for the next few years, and on the other side of it, you get to a point where you have a skill set and you have the ability and you are making $20,000 a month and you have that mindset, I would say that's extremely worth it. Because now the rest of your life, you don't have to be somebody's dance monkey and you get to do your own thing. So don't try to get some crazy, fast, overnight success. Instead, just, I would rather want that slow, long-term, everlasting growth that gets you to a place where you're able to have a very stable income. What goes up fast, comes down fast. But what takes, what is very thought out and very well planned will last a lifetime or last an eternity. And so I always like going for that. But anyways, to go back on the point of making your first, like the ethics and the values of emulating people and what that means. So there's a good book. I recommend that you get it. It is called Good Artists Create and Great Artists Steal. I might be butchering that a little bit. You'll find it by typing that in. And so this book, the author talks about, I think the dude's name is Austin. And inside of this book, he talks about, the difference of a good artist and a great artist. All great artists in all of human history have stolen someone else's work. They don't have really that much creativity, as in they just find something that's already worked, that's already been proven, and they emulate that with their own medium. They just do kind of the same thing, but with, instead of a painting, instead they do it with marble and make a statue. And so what you want to do is when you're on the internet and when you're trying to make money, when you're just making money, it needs to be very logical, it needs to be very emotionless, and it just needs to be practical and just like a step-by-step game plan. You don't need to be some mad genius. In fact, when you're just trying to make 20 grand a month, you really just need to find people that have gotten there in a recently quick pace. If you look all over the internet and you start looking at everything through the lens of someone created this YouTube channel or created this Shopify store or this business or, this e-commerce store or this product, and they're selling it on the internet, there's someone behind there that was just like you that, sleeps and shits and eats food and is just like you. They just, they just saw the opportunity and they took action on it. That's the only difference between you and the person that's making $20,000 a month on these platforms or on these shipping containers of the modern world. And what you need to do is find out how they came up with that idea. And if you can find the source of their inspiration, you can emulate that source of inspiration just like they emulated the source of inspiration. So I'm always looking for people that have gotten to $30,000 a month in the last 3 months or the last 6 months, because I want to make money quick. Obviously, making money fast is kind of a scam and stuff, where you can just make money overnight, but there is a such thing as making money faster. And so I always look for the people that have made money fast on the marketplace in any of these different industries. And I find out how they did it and I emulate that success. Success leaves clues. I want you to make a huge mental note on this. Success leaves clues. So anybody that has become successful, you can see the trail of everything that they've done in the past, and they leave a blueprint and a game plan that you can emulate to be able to be just like that person or that entity or that business. And so go and find the things that have become successful. And, here's the thing. I think this is one mistake that most people make is they go see they go watch Shark Tank and they see some person that's gone all in. They got 2 mortgages they double mortgaged their house and they asked all their family members for money and they put everything into this business. And then they go to Shark Tank and they pitch it to all these investors. And most people watch that and they're like, oh, I need to do that too. We live in a day and an age where you don't need to do that. And if anything, that's a huge risk that you're taking that you don't need to take. Instead, these days, if you just use the shipping containers that are on the platform, you can go make 10, 20 grand a month. Then you can go do one of those things where you just take your cash that you're making from your little business that's making 30 grand a month and then apply it to some big thing like I'm doing now at this point. But what you need to do is instead go find the people that are making, instead of going and trying to model these crazy success stories, everyone wants to be the next big Apple. They want to, they think that making money is $100 million companies. Like, in order for them to become rich, they need to build a $100 million company. But what they don't know, most of these $100 million companies, either they got like funded by some crazy investor, like some crazy thing, is like some anomaly, or that isn't their first business. A lot of times they've probably done like 20 other businesses, and then this is business number 22 or something like that. And they had the cash from these other things that kind of built up to this point. And so instead of looking at these crazy success stories, just go find the people making 10 grand a month. They're everywhere. They're they're everywhere. They're maybe not the easiest to find all the time, unless you're just kind of persistent and you just keep showing up. But you want to find the people that are just making 10 grand a month. Because if you're only making 3 grand a month, quit trying to expect yourself to make like $300,000 a month overnight. That's insane. As in, like, your mindset is not there, your skill sets aren't there. There's a reason you're only making 3 grand a month. And so instead, you want to find people that are, if you're making $3, $5, $8,000 a month, you want to go find someone that's making $10, $15, or $20,000 a month online and see how they did it, because that is a very reasonable kind of like stepping stone of your career. You don't just go from like 0 to $100,000 a month. Instead, you kind of do little tiered stages. For me, after a year, I got to where I was making $3,000, $4,000 a month. And then from there, I took those tactics and everything and I applied it to a different opportunity. And I went from $3,000 to $4,000 a month to where I was generating 10, then 20, then $40,000 a month in a very short span, because I just took all those skill sets and I applied it to another opportunity. I didn't go to $300,000 a month. I went to $40,000 a month in a very step-by-step kind of game plan. I just found a better opportunity in a better market. And when I did that on YouTube, it grew my income substantially. So what you need to do is you need to first think about, how can I generate my first money online? And then how can I make my first, $10, $20, $30,000 a month? Then once you're there, now you can start looking at all of these kind of bigger opportunities that are making $100,000 or $300,000 a month. And when you view it through that lens, where it's kind of like stepping stones to the bigger picture, it's a lot more attainable. And I think most people are going for this huge, just gung-ho, like 10-year game plan when they've never built a business before, or like thing that takes 10 years and they need to make money like in a few, like, they don't have any time for it and they need to make money in the next few months. So you need to find the things that kind of like tier your way up to these different income levels, and you will find ways faster success. And so the cool thing about all of this, and in this world, to kind of, bring it back a little bit, is we live in an era where the economy rewards those that take action on the opportunities that are in front of them. And so the people that are usually taking the fast track to success and wealth and riches and becoming millionaires are the ones that see an opportunity and they take action. They're not overthinking things. They're not thinking of all of the possible risks and all of the failures that could possibly happen. Instead, they're viewing it all as an experience, and each failure is a lesson and a battle scar that they're able to take with them as a lesson to the next stage in the development of themselves. And so what you need to realize, just like I have, just like all these other people that have become millionaires because of the internet, is that it is all a journey and not a destination. And so when you keep showing up for yourself and you play the long game, you play the infinite game, instead of playing the game that if this doesn't work out in a week, I'm gonna give up on this whole dream. And instead you view it as like a 3-5 year thing. On the other side of it, your life has changed forever. But if you just keep showing up every single day and you keep executing and you're doing the best that you can every single day, success is imminent. You will find opportunities. Eventually, you will see the payoff. It may take you a little bit. It took me, I think, about like 2 years before I really saw any sort of real payoff. I saw some success. I saw some money in the first little time span, but it was a little bit of a taste. Some people, it takes 3 months. Some people, it takes 5 years. But on the other side of it all, you're crazy successful. I was listening to the guy from My First Million. I forget the dude's name, the Indian dude that's there. I don't think he's Indian, but whatever he is. That guy, he was talking about how he was in Silicon Valley amidst all of these startup founders and all these people that were building tech companies. And every single person that was in their circle they were hanging out with regularly have gone on to become deca centimillionaires, if not billionaires and the richest people in the world, like Mark Zuckerberg or an Elon Musk. And these people, they were all just inside of there. Some of them, it took a year. Some of them took 3 years. Some of them, it took 5 years, 8 years. All of them had a big payoff. And it's because they all put themselves in the right opportunity, in the right place, and they stuck with it. And they stuck with this big vision of being able to build some pretty incredible things. And so the people that didn't have success were the ones that went back home to Pennsylvania or Connecticut or wherever they came from. The people that did have crazy success are the ones that stuck with it, regardless of how long it took. Every person in that circle and in those rooms that were startup founders were the ones that went on to become mega successful. And that's the same thing with money today. It's just the people that show up consistently and take every failure as a learning lesson are the ones that are going to go off to do some crazy things. The people that aren't are the ones that give up too soon and don't take action on opportunities and don't move quickly. It's like Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. It's the survival of the fittest. People are the fittest are the ones that adapt quickly and pivot quickly and move fast. And so if you don't want to get left behind, then what you need to do is take action on what you see in front of you and view every every failure as a learning lesson. And understanding that it's a journey, not a destination. I'm Devon Canup. I'll see you guys all in the next one.